Another passing concept I run out is gun snugs, is what I like to call slant out corners. And the play I'm going to use is the bench. And the defense for right now, we're going to use dollar normal cover 3 press. And we'll run it against a couple other coverages too. So what I like to do is a hot route to 2 outside receivers on slants out, so you can see the run slants out to the outside. Also keep in mind you got 2 inside receivers running corner routes, and then you got Taylor, which is your halfback, running the delayed curl route. And we're going to look for Jones first. And again, you can see the rotation with the safeties telling you it's cover 3. So all you do is just throw it to the outside like that and lead it. There I threw it to 9 o'clock position, and I pressed hard left and hit him on the 9 o'clock by throwing the ball to the outside. Now we can run it to the other side too, and you can get the same thing. This time we're going to look for north cut on the slant out. Just throw it hard right at the 9 o'clock position. He dropped the pass, but he was open. Just going to do it again. Same thing. Hard right to 3 o'clock position. There he goes. And we picked up about 9 yards there. So you can look at it and you kind of tell why this is working. Again, it's kind of what I've said before. If they're in like dime, nickel, quarters, or whatever, you're going to get these jams right here. There's the jam. And it really helps this play work that much more effective. Now, if your opponent was to go ahead and, let's go out on another defense here. Let's go out and cover 2 out of the dollar. And we'll look at it out of the dollar cover 2. And again, you want to read those safeties. You don't see any rotation. And then also look at the 2 corners. You don't see them moving anymore. Generally, this is cover 2. It's kind of a tip-off that it's cover 2. And if you know it's cover 2, then you're going to want to look to the corner routes first. Now, don't forget, you can always hot route those guys on streaks too. And just try to do the rocket catch or whatever. Don't forget, if you think it's cover 2, hot route those 2 slot receivers on streaks and look for them down the middle of the field. So that's something else you can do. And don't forget, the other receiver it's always going to be open as your check down is going to be your halfback. He may not always get a lot of yards, but he's a safe bet that he's going to get at least 4 or 5. So that's someone you can look to throw to if no one else is open. Now let's look at one more coverage out of here. Let's go into dollar cover 4. And this one is the same thing as far as coverage as who to look to, because, again, you're going to have that same bump as far as the dime backs who are playing the buzz zones. They're going to do the same thing. Again, just kind of read the coverage. Just notice how those 2 corners go out to the outside. This tells you it's cover 2, or excuse me, cover 4, because they moved. If they didn't move, it'd been cover 2. And again, you notice the safeties don't rotate. So again, you're going to see the jam, and then just throw to the outside and lead out. There I threw it at the 9 o'clock position to Jones. And let's go to the other side and do the same thing, the north cut. Okay, and then he's open for 5 yards. Now let's look at one last coverage. I know I just said that a second ago, but let's look at one more, because I really want to point this out to you when we run these concepts, that it generally works against pretty much everything. You just got to be aware of what you're doing against. Like, for instance, going to 3-4 normal. This one's a little more difficult to throw, but they can be open. It's just a matter how far you throw it. Same thing. This is 3-4 normal cover 3. Again, you see the rotation. And the guy I want to look for is Jones. Okay? Now, I want you to go look, and I've seen this even against the 4-3 defenses and the 46s. A lot of times you'll see the same reaction from the right outside linebacker. Watch how he goes inside initially. See how he bites inside? And then you can see how open that guy gets. And then he's wide open. Just throw it and hit that 9 o'clock position and throw it to the outside. Again, you can see it, and that's what makes this play work so effective. Even against some of these more base defenses like 3-4, 46, you can definitely do that against. One last thing we need to point out here. If you go to the right side, you're not going to see that same rotation with that linebacker as far as biting and going inside. See how he goes to the outside? He's not as open. And I've only noticed this from the right outside linebacker, but not from the left. The left outside linebacker, he doesn't go inside. So he never goes inside. See? And because of that, that slant out's not as open. So generally when you're making this throw against these type of defenses like 3-4, 46, usually want to go to the right side where the right side outside linebacker is, because he tends to do this all the time. Okay? So that's what you can do as far as running that, as far as that concept goes.